One.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and I'm part of the programming team at the Westport Library. Today, I'm excited to welcome Glen Tobias. Say hi, Glen.
Hi.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So Glen is a sports performance nutritionist who has been working with professional football, baseball, and mixed martial arts athletes for the past decade. He is a registered dietitian nutritionist and has been providing nutritional counseling for over 25 years in Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey. And Glen is currently the team nutritionist for the Boston Red Sox. And he has offices in Manhattan, Stamford, and Westport. And he's also currently continuing to see clients during this time virtually in telehealth sessions online. So Glen is with us today to talk about the ways in which we can optimize our immune system and improve our overall health, especially during this time when so many of our normal health routines have been disrupted. So once again, Glen, it's great to have you here. Welcome. I guess I wanted to start out by just asking the basic question, which seems kind of simple, but it might be something people are interested in. What is immunity in general? And what are some ways in which the disruption in our daily lives and schedules that we're all experiencing can have an impact on our immune system and our health?
Sure. The immune system is just the body's defenses. Just think of it as the body's defense to prevent you from getting sick. And there are things that we can do to help make sure that we are at full power. There's a lot of marketing that's been going on recently, immunity boosters. You really can't get a boost. You can maintain optimization. And really that's what I wanted to talk about today. There are a few different things. Sleep is a big one. And a lot of us are going to bed way too late because our daily routine is completely different now. So I have a schedule that I wanted to bring up to show you. This schedule, it's a daily plan of action. I like to have a bedtime every night at the same time. It's called sleep hygiene, when you have the same time you go to bed, the same time you wake up. I think it's going to be very important to try to do that even in these quarantine times. So as you can see on the side, it'll say wake up and bedtime. And then I put in the 6 meals a day because everyone knows the 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Those are the ones that everybody knows and loves. And that's what you get when you're in prison. So that's really more for survival. What I want to do is I want to optimize. So a breakfast, a brunch, a lunch, a dunch, that's the critical meal that nobody eats. The lunch and the dinner, and then supper. And everyone feels guilty about eating supper because they think that they're doing something that's quote unquote wrong, and they're really not. Because if dinner's at 6, by 9 o'clock, you actually do need to eat something. I would at that point probably have them go with a higher protein, higher fat supper and lower carbohydrates and lower starches. So the potato chips or the ice cream that most people want to eat at 9 o'clock at night, I would probably not have you do. So the first thing is the 6 meals a day are scheduled. So this is going to bring more consistency to your life, and it's going to help you with anxiety and stress also. So that water is going to be a big part of this. There's a lot of people's, since the day is all different, the water from their desk is not there or the water cooler is not there. So we want to drink more water during the day, not right before bed, because then that's a problem. And make sure those meals are scheduled. And then right here it says to have some time to cook together as a family. Try things that you haven't tried. We're going to go over a couple of different tiers for food shopping in a little bit, but you should definitely try some new things. The only thing I didn't put in the schedule, because some people are morning exercisers, some people are afternoon exercisers, some people don't exercise. If for those people, you just have to find something that you like to do. I know, for example, my wife likes to dance, so she does Zumba. And whatever you want to do, as long as you're doing something, I'm in. I just didn't schedule it in the schedule because I wanted to make sure everybody could feel free to put it in where they wanted to. And the last thing on this daily plan of action was to remember to forgive yourself and don't be so hard on yourself. And every now and then you do need to feed the soul. when I say feed the soul is enjoy the food that you're eating. Sometimes you don't want the grilled chicken Parmesan, you want the regular chicken Parmesan. So I get that. Every now and then, if you need to enjoy, feed that soul, make you feel better, I'm in. I get it.
That's great. So can you talk a little more specifically why eating 6 times a day is better for your immune system than like what we're sort of, the 3 meals a day that we're all generally used to?
Sure, because first of all, I want to keep your energy levels up. With your energy levels up, you're just going to feel better and perform better during the day. So the blood sugar is going to be more consistent. The amino acid pool for your muscles will be more consistent so you can heal and grow and repair the muscles. You don't want to wait for hunger. See, most people say, wow, I'm hungry, what should I eat? I don't want that. Hunger will make you crave certain foods. When you're really, really hungry, starving, I want to show you, I have a scale right here when we talk about hunger. There's the hunger scale. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you. But the scale, can you see that well?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but you can see it. You can just kind of talk through it a little bit too.
Trying to make it a little there. Here, how's that?
That's perfect.
Okay. So what happens is most people will wait until they get into the 3, maybe 2 before they start to eat. If you get to 1, if you're ravenous, if you are starving, you don't crave grilled chicken and steamed vegetables. The problem is that you want high fat, high salt, you want a bacon double cheeseburger and fries. You want the quote unquote junk food, pizza. Not that there's anything wrong with those foods, they're great, but you don't want to go into those kind of foods that hungry. So my point is, if you get hungry, you're going to crave the foods that are, rather than say that they're wrong. I wouldn't want you to do that. I want you to eat when you are at a 5, neutral. You walk into the meal, it's time. You're eating by the clock, not when you're hungry. And then you also have to watch your speed of eating so you don't eat too much. So that's also a big takeaway is if you eat slower, you'll eat less food and you'll feel better post-meal.
Mm-hmm.
You wait to get hungry and then you crave the wrong foods.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then as far as hydration goes, is it really just water that keeps us hydrated? Like what if people are drinking seltzer, or is it really a matter of getting enough pure water into our system that really helps our immune system, or is it any kind of hydration?
Well, as a blanket answer, I would say any kind of hydration is better than none. I really prefer water for people. And again, I have a nice chart so you can determine if you are hydrated properly. You want to make sure that your urine is at the top of that bottle, if you will, the well hydrated, the pale yellow, the straw yellow. You really don't want to get into the golden. You definitely don't want to see brown. If you do, you should seek medical attention. It is, you're having a problem. Don't wait for, as a rule of thumb for me and working with athletes and my clients and patients, being hungry, tired, or thirsty, those are warning signals from the body that something is not optimal. So that being said, the hunger is going to get taken care of because we've already scheduled your 6 meals. Tired should be taken care of because we know what time you're going to wake up every morning, what time you're going to go to bed every night based on our schedule. And then hydration, you're going to drink more during the day to make sure that your urine is a pale yellow and really never get thirsty. So those are the things that I would recommend to do to help maintain a healthy immune system, because you need proper hydration. You had made mention of like seltzer. I usually tell people who are athletes or have arthritis or joint pains, I would avoid seltzer. It's very acidic. And I would say if you don't realize how acidic it is, take a drink of seltzer and hold it in your mouth. Don't swallow. And then you'll see actually how much it's burning the inside of your mouth. Now you swallow that, now that's in your belly. Your body still has to deal with that. So you have to maintain an equilibrium, the body, and now it needs a base or alkaline substance to do so, so it can leach calcium from your bones. And there are studies that show that there's a higher incidence of fracture for people who drink a lot of carbonated beverages. And as we get older, you will eventually fall. And if you don't break, that's a huge win. So there are fruits, vegetables that are high in water content that will also help. But I try to just focus in on water, less seltzer, not coffee or soda with caffeine, because that's something else that we talk about to maintain your eating schedule is to have less caffeine, because caffeine is an appetite suppressant, not an appetite eliminator. So you may have a cup of coffee in the morning and say, no, I'm good, I don't need my breakfast, because you don't feel that hunger. But if you think of like hunger as like a little monster that you lock in your desk drawer, and it's quiet at first, but then starts banging on the drawer and bang, eventually that little monster gets out, and now he's really a problem. And now your hunger has been building in the background all day. Not the best for you. So I'm not a fan of caffeine either, because again, it's going to throw you off your schedule.
I had a question regarding the acidic system. I've been reading a lot about ways in which to make your system more alkaline as a real immunity, booster, or as a real way to support your immunity. So, drinking apple cider vinegar, drinking lemon in water. What are your thoughts around that idea of creating a more alkaline system, or is it more about balance?
Well, it's about balance, but you cannot change the pH of your blood by eating or drinking certain things. So they say, if you have certain things that are more alkaline, it's better, and it'll help keep your system free of cancer and COVID-19. That's not true. Your body is a well-regulated machine, and you really can't change the pH of your blood or you'd be dead. So I don't recommend even really trying it. A lot of people want alkaline water. I think it's fine, but you're really not going to get the benefit that they're touting, because most people will have that and then have a beer later or a soda, all that carbonation. It's really not going to make it. It's not going to make a difference. It really won't.
Okay, that makes sense. And then just touching a little bit more on sleep, because I know sleep is at least the people that I've been talking to, sleep is a really big issue for a lot of people right now, just because of anxiety and stress. And there's a lot more binge watching of television and Netflix services. So even though our sort of normal schedules are thrown off, what I'm hearing is you're saying it's still really important to kind of keep to a sleep schedule as if you were getting up and going to work, regular work in the morning, or going to school. You're just home.
And if you're fortunate enough to work from home, you have to get up at a certain time every day, and you have to get yourself ready. You have to eat your breakfast. So you have that schedule. And if you're not working, it's even more important for you to keep a schedule, because let's say most people on a regular life, Sunday through Thursday go to bed at one time, but then on Friday and Saturday they go to bed much later. That's like being jet lagged every single week. And before midnight, PM, you should go to bed PM, not AM, so not after midnight. They are better for you. So we need to make sure that the schedule is kept. And I keep talking about the schedule because it helps you with fear, anxiety, depression. All these things are helped when you have a schedule. You have something that you're going to continue to do day in and day out. Because yes, some people can just lay in bed all day, binge watch TV until the wee hours of the morning, or play video games. And those things are all stimulating to your sight, and it's going to make you fall asleep. It's going to take you longer to fall asleep, and that's not going to be good for you. Mm-hmm. So, I would tell people most of the time, 7.5 hours is a good range. I think the Sleep Foundation has talked about 7 hours is where they want people. I want people at 7.5, so I go a little bit further. But then for an athlete, I actually recommend 9. And some people, that's almost unheard of. I have a lot of people tell me, I only sleep 4 and I'm fine. You're fine. My job is not to have you stay fine. I have to get you exceptional. So sleeping more will definitely help brain function. It'll help hormonally, because if you don't sleep enough, the body considers that a stress. That stress will release cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which breaks down muscle tissue. Muscles are the engine of the car that if your body's a car, you need that engine, the strength, the energy. You don't want it to go away. So when that cortisol is being released, That is absolutely not something you want. Also, since it's a stress, there's a hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin makes you hungry. When you sleep enough, ghrelin actually goes up. So now you're hungrier. And now to add insult to injury, there's another hormone called leptin that makes you feel full. When you don't sleep enough, that actually gets suppressed. So based on this hormonal trifecta that's going to happen if you don't sleep enough, you're going to release cortisol and break down muscle, not the thing that you want to have happen. You're going to be hungrier because ghrelin is elevated, and you're not going to get full as quickly because leptin is decreased. So basically, if you don't sleep enough, it's a train wreck waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So other than, you mentioned caffeine, you mentioned alcohol, are there any sort of other across the board don'ts that, you know, in general, we want to kind of stay away from for optimal health, but especially during this time when we're kind of off our schedules anyway?
Right. Well, the short list of don'ts would be alcohol, because it goes directly to fat storage. And then as you're drinking, it's going to lead you to probably some poor food choices. So, alcohol being one. Then you have the going to bed too late. That's one that you don't want to do. And then missing meals, which then drives hunger up, which leads you to bad food choices. And then caffeine, which temporarily suppresses the appetite, but it's still building in the background, and you're going to eat more later. A lot of people will say they're quote unquote, I'm good all day. Just after dinner is when it really kicks in, because you've got caffeine, you've caffeined up most of the day. And at night, when you're sitting down watching TV, that's where the problems occur. Mm-hmm. So that's the short list of don'ts.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, you know, my last question is, I know obviously there is no, you know, magic pill, there's no magic food, there's nothing that across the board kind of, you know, boosts our immune system. But I'm curious if you have a list of just kind of sure things, especially now, you know, when we're sort of stocking up or whatever, that you would suggest just keeping in your pantry, keeping at home, whether they're food-based or supplement-based, that you could just give, you know, people just to kind of have a baseline, like foundational support for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, when you go food shopping, our goal right now is to go as infrequently as possible. So I have a 3-tiered system for food shopping. Literally, you have fresh foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh meat. That's all great. That is limited by your refrigerator space. Then we have now second tier being frozen fruit, frozen vegetable. You can take those meats and freeze them. Again, fantastic. And those fruits and vegetables can be as nutritious or more nutritious than even fresh. So don't think of them as like a step down, because they're definitely not. But you also have now a space issue, because I know, like, for example, in my house, I have a refrigerator in my kitchen, and then we have a small one in the garage. But when that freezer space is done, it's done. You have your tier 1, tier 2 being the frozen. Tier 3, which I believe is neglected, is the canned, because the shelf life is a lot longer. You can stack them literally anywhere in your garage. You can have canned food. And I did a study with my patients and clients. I asked, what are the foods that you're buying that are canned? Give me some ideas. Corn and peas were number 1. Literally nobody says that they buy potatoes. There are canned potatoes. You can open the potatoes and you can roast them. So you would have plenty of options. So tier 3, I think, is important. I mean, I talk to people all the time. I have beans, a great starch that you can have. You rinse them to reduce the sodium content. You have tomatoes. If you have crushed tomatoes and beans, you have, you know, a start for almost anything. You can throw in ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef. You can chunk up chicken and beef. You can make a lot of different things. These will last a very long time. So after you're done with your oranges, you can go into a mandarin orange. Mm-hmm. You can get it. This one is in light syrup. Even better in natural juice. Great. Protein sources in cans. I always talk about sardines. It's the best food nobody's eating. Everyone always says, ew, try it first. Try it. You may like it. Don't yuck my yum. You never know. You may like it too. And we also have tuna. I like this brand because they mercury test all the tuna, which is nice. So you also have cans of chicken that you can get, cans of salmon. So you can have all these different things. Pastas are great. Rice, fantastic. When I went to Costco a couple of weeks ago, actually probably about a month ago now, before this really started, there was no water, which I don't know why, because they thought they're going to shut off the water. And there's no toilet paper. I still have no idea why there's no toilet paper. But I bought tuna, I bought sardines. They were all fully stocked. And, if you get chunky soup or different soups, outstanding. And you know what? There's actually a fourth tier. A fourth tier is this. Freeze dried. The best buy date is 2049. All you have to do is add water. Super light, freeze dried food. Awesome. Have other foods that I use here also for protein sources. You have jerkies. You have whey powder in packets, portable, last years, great things. So there's a lot you can do with foods that you can store. Because a lot of people are like, I don't have that much, refrigerator space. That's just one part of it. That's just tier 1. Don't forget tier 2, tier 3, and even the tier 4. Because if you have freeze-dried foods, they'll last for you for a very long time. I hope that helps. That gives you a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. What about supplements? What's your feeling on supplements?
Sure. I see a lot out there right now about being something that is an immune booster. What's going to boost your immune system? First of all, I always go with food first. I want you to eat food for your vitamins and minerals. But not a lot of people always love their fruits and vegetables. I mean, I see a lot of my clients and patients, and even the professional athletes who don't eat vegetables because they just don't like them or they won't. So I give most people a vitamin, multivitamin, just for nutritional insurance. And I only use products that are NSF certified for sport. That means that this NSF takes the products that they third-party tested to make sure what's on that label is in that product. And I think that's very important because by law, anybody can make supplements. So a multivitamin is something that's important. Definitely for people who don't eat a lot of fish, an omega-3 fish oil. Good anti-inflammatory, so it's good for your joints. And as an athlete or any active person would benefit. Help with keeping your immune system strong. A probiotic would work very well. Now, it doesn't have to be a supplement, but it can be kimchi, sauerkraut, pickles. Any of those fermented foods are also fantastic for your immune system because it helps with the probiotics in your gut. And the gut microbiome is very, very powerful. You need to make sure you diversify.
Mm-hmm. Great.
In terms of other supplements per se, should you take a lot of vitamin C? If you're taking a multivitamin and you're eating fruits and vegetables, I think that's a great thing, and you're probably fine. You don't need to mega dose anything to boost. Right. It's not going to happen, regardless of what the ads that people are running are trying to tell you.
Right. So just a good multivitamin and of something for your gut.
Probiotics, omega-3 fish oil. That's a good foundational base, and then based on what the person needs, likes, dislikes, we can go through other supplements that may or may not benefit. But I don't like a pre-workout with all that caffeine. I don't believe that's necessary.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right. Well, I thank you so much. This was great information. I think it's great information for any time, but especially now when we're all kind of knocked off our game a little bit and trying to figure out how to re-strategize and reorganize our systems. And you're available if anyone has any questions, they could find you and reach out to you and schedule sessions. My
email is customerservice@e3wms.com, or you can just go to my website, which is e3wms.com.
Great. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being here, and thank you for your time. And if you are all interested in any more of our wellness topics and wellness programming or anything else in the library, you can just check us out, westportlibrary.org. Thanks a lot, Glenn.
Thank you.
Stay well.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.